patriotic, and it has changed my life. I'm a fan of his ever since. I love this collection. Thousands most legendary supermodels and more. The four queens of the runway. Fashion, New York Fashion Week is right around the corner. Librarian tonight, and that's because I came to read a bitch. Jaja's Atelier, bitch. Welcome back, y'all. I don't know whether this is the pits of fucking hell or my atelier. It's hot as fuck outside. It is now 9:30 and it's still hot. Of course, there's a huge heat wave going on. It did rain a little bit earlier today. Anyway. How has everybody been doing? It's your girl. I'm back with my thoughts and opinions on everything fashion, politics, and hot topics. It's Jaja's Atelier. For those of you who are just tuning in, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button for your girl. You know, I always forget to say that because I'm not an official podcaster. But anyway, let's open things up. Listen, my show has taken... well, not my show, but this episode has taken a complete left turn. There's so many things going on in the news. Again, I work. So sometimes my intention is to do a show twice a week, but sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. And when I miss an episode, doing an episode, I miss a whole lot. So I'm just going to get to what I know. We have to start off by congratulating the very handsome and very married, I checked, Zohran Mamdani, who just won the Democratic, what do they call it? He's the Democratic nominee for the mayor of New York because they need to get black ass Eric Adams up out of there because he ain't nothing but an informant any fucking way. I don't even live in New York. I'm from New Jersey. I spent a lot of time in New York while I lived up there. You know, New York is only a stone throws away. And so I'm very invested in this for some odd reason. But I'm also invested in it. This man is not playing. He has dubbed himself Trump's worst threat. He has branded himself as a socialist Democrat. He is going to tax the billionaires to make them pay their fair share. He is going to clean up the streets of New York, honey. And he is fine, honey. This man is fine. He is only 33 years old. Again, ladies, gentlemen, dolls, and queens. I already checked. The man is married. His wife is very beautiful, by the way. He is, I forgot what part of the Middle East he's from, but he is a Middle Eastern man and a Muslim, which is sending... I wasn't even going to go here. But this ties into my first story. Can we talk? I did a post last week about, you know, the Trump administration has bombed Iran, which is something that our little sister Israel has been wanting for a very, very long time. And I asked the question, what does Israel have on the United States? So why every time Israel goes and shoots their mouth off or shoots a missile, we have to pay our tax dollars go towards funding their war crimes and all of the stuff that we do. And it seems as if every time you say something against Israel that they don't particularly like, they label it anti-Semitic. So that caused me to go down an entire rabbit hole. I've been watching the History Channel all week, and let me start off by saying, because I know this is a very touchy subject, I'm from Jersey, honey. I grew up with Jewish kids at my school. You know, I'm gonna use the same kind of excuse y'all use when y'all say something racially disparaging about us black folks. But I had black friends. Well, guess what, honey? I have Jewish friends till this day. I am not anti-Semitic. What I am, however, is anti-Zionist. I am anti-killing innocent women and children and disguising it as being Jewish. Because I have seen, I'm coming in hot, y'all. I have seen Jewish people standing with Palestinians during this protest. You Israeli settlers, you Zionist Israeli settlers that mask it as being Jewish, you are bringing harm to the people that you claim to be. I said it. I can't hold it in. I can't hold it in. I can't repeat on YouTube the things that I've seen with my own eyes as far as the apartheid going on in Israel right now, but it is disgusting. And this whole, every time somebody calls y'all on y'all shit, we anti-Semitic, no boo-boo-boo. No boo-boo. Israeli government, the jig is up. And one thing that really, really grinds my gears is somebody that throws the rock and hides their hand and then plays victim when you call them on it. If nothing makes my foreskin itch more than a victimized instigator. I have seen how some, not all, of the people, the whites that live in Israel treat the Palestinian children is disgusting. I'm not even talking about the missiles and the weapons and the mass destruction that you have caused. I'm talking about the day-to-day, what I have seen on the grounds. Which brings me back, excuse me, I'm stuttering. It's been a while. Give me a minute. Which brings me back to Democratic New York mayor candidate Zohran Mamdani. And I'm trying to make sure I pronounce it right because he don't like when you pronounce his name wrong, honey, because he got Cuomo all the way together. What the fuck does Israel have to do with running for the mayor of New York? I am so fucking goddamn tired of y'all asking this man, well, what do you feel about Israel? Do you think that Israel has the right to exist? What the fuck do you mean does Israel have the right to exist? Israel is here. Israel exists. What the fuck kind of question is? That's like asking me. And then I saw a clip where all the candidates were standing up there and they asked each and every one of them, what's the one place you would want to visit once you win as mayor of New York? And they all said Israel except for Zohran Mamdani. And he said, I'm staying here in New York because I got to figure out what the hell is going on in here when I become mayor. He said, I believe that Israel has the right to exist without the apartheid, basically. Everywhere he goes, y'all asking him about Israel. Do you not see how they treat people that look like him in Israel? That's like asking my tranny black ass, if when you become mayor of New York, are you going to go to the KKK rally and see what they're talking about? Bitch, no, I'm not. The blatant racism towards this young man, he is only 33 years old, is disgusting, deplorable, and unacceptable. Why do you think Israel should exist? Do you think Palestinians should exist? That's the real motherfucking question. Do you think Palestinians should exist? America! I think it's absolutely disgusting. And it's so in your face. It's so blatant. American media is not even trying to hide their Islamophobia. They are setting the stage, and this is why I said, this episode is just taking a turn, but this is why I said when it comes to what ICE is doing to Latino and Hispanic immigrants, we all need to take a stand, because what's next are the Muslims. This is what they're setting the stage for. I watched a clip of an old documentary of a Jewish man crying for the Palestinians, saying, what is going on? We used to live side by side with them. They were our neighbors. They were our friends. Our children played together. What happened? Zionism. Which was founded by a man, by the way, who doesn't even believe in God. He was an atheist. This has got to stop. Why are you sending our money over there? And then you want to talk about anti-Semitism? This is the picture that Israel is painting for the world, that the Israeli government is displaying for the world. This is the poisonous venom that you're putting out on the people that you proclaim to be. Why would you want to put your people in danger like this? I saw a Holocaust survivor standing with the Palestinians, and she was spit on and verbally accosted. I don't even want to call them Jews, because to call them Jews, now that would be anti-Semitic, by Zionists pretending to be Jews. How dare you? Everybody has the right to be here. Everybody has the right to health care. Everybody has the right to clean food and water. Those are basic human rights. Basic. How dare you? The racism that the media, the Islamophobia that the American media has shown to this man. And you know what? Stephen Colbert, I was a huge fan of you until I saw what you did to that man. How dare you? Fuck you, Stephen Colbert, for asking that man such an irrelevant question to him being the mayor of New York. I'm really disappointed in Stephen Colbert. That man doesn't hate Jewish people. That man is not anti-Semitic. What he is, that man is not, anti-Semitic. What he is anti-bullshit. What he is anti-Islamophobia. Y'all are wrong. I said it. And I said what I said, and I ain't changing. What you are doing to those women and those children is wrong. And stop wrapping it up in being Jewish. Being Jewish has nothing to do with killing innocent women and children. Cut the crap, Netanyahu. You have been running this scam for decades. And it's all coming to the surface. The jig is up, Israel. The jig is up. So, with all that being said, I want to play this clip from James Baldwin, who I did not know lived in Turkey for almost a decade, who was a supporter of Israel until he went and visited. And let me pull it up here. This is what he had to say. Take a look at this.
One could say that the Palestinians have been paying for Europe's guilty conscience for 31 years. And one could say that the state of Israel was not created to save the Jews, but to protect Western interests at the gate of the Middle East. And that would never have happened if it had not been for the Third Reich. That's a very bitter way to put it, but that's the truth. Now, I do not know, I was born in the Bible, but I am not so sure I believe in the biblical possession of the land. And I don't think that it's right for the Palestinians to pay for Europe's crimes.
Again, that was James Baldwin talking about, and that clip has to be from like the late 60s or maybe the 70s, the early 70s. I forgot what year it was, but somewhere around that time. You know, it's just so sad. I see the clips of the people, they're begging for food, they're hungry, their children are starving, and the U.S. is funding it all. And it's just like, with our money? No. So I want to send a huge congratulations to Zohan Mamdani. And I'm praying for you because I'm a little scared for him. I am. Because if the media can be so blatantly racist, what the hell are they saying to him on the street? We've got to do better. But one thing I will say to steer us in a more positive direction is, I love that the Jewish people that don't agree with this are coming out in droves and making positively sure that their narrative is not switched to this bullshit. They're like, listen, we never stood for this. This is not the Israel that we dreamed of. This is not what we wanted. And to see so many Jews and so many Muslims in this country protesting together, there's hope. The fact that this man beat out Andrew Cuomo, who has SA charges, by the way, whose campaign was also funded by a rapist, by the way, who sued women for their gynecologist records after they accused him of SA, allegedly, by the way. Who also, by the way, is a household name in New York. It speaks volumes. The people are telling the American government what they want. Now, it's either up to the American government to listen, or the American public will have to fight for it. So, listen, I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for those children and those women and those men in Gaza. I'm praying for the Palestinians. I'm praying for the Jewish people who are standing on the right side of history. I watched that Holocaust survivor, that Zionist asshole spit in that woman's face, and it broke my heart. She's a Holocaust survivor, and you claim Jew, and you spit in her face. And the boy that did it couldn't have been no more than 25, 30 years old. It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. Anyway, let's switch gears. So listen. Hold on, let me put my notes up to see where we're going with next. Alright, so let's lighten things up a bit. So listen, Beyonce, honey, Beyonce made huge waves in her 3-day extravaganza for her Paris leg of the Cowboy Carter tour. She brought out Miley Cyrus, who looked fabulous, by the way. Beyonce was wearing Rabanne, and I believe Miley Cyrus was wearing YSL, I think. The two sang their hit Backseat Rider. And then for night 2, Jay-Z came out of retirement and hit the stage, y'all. Ladies and gentlemen, Jay-Z hit the stage. He sang their #1 hit, Crazy in Love, together, and he also sang Niggas in Paris. It seemed to fit. Listen, Beyonce is doing the goddamn thing. She has celebrities flying from the States to Paris just to see her show. Kelly Rowland, we also saw, Cardi B was there, and a host of other celebrities. Of course, Blue Ivy and Rumi Carter stole the show as they've been doing the whole tour. So huge shout out to Beyonce, man. Speaking of Beyonce, honey, we cannot talk about Beyonce, honey, without talking about her nephew, who is also the son of the creative genius that is Beyonce's younger sister, Solange Knowles, who is expanding his modeling career as the latest cover star of Pause magazine. The rising fashion face was styled by the very beautiful Tiaja Leo Lorelli. I think that's how you pronounce it. And photographed by, he didn't post his last name, so his name is Daniel. I don't know. But I love these pictures. The cover is everything. They didn't list the name of designers who he was wearing, but I took a couple of guesses, but I'm not sure, so I'm not going to say. But Jules is very, very handsome, let me just say. And it's crazy. Every time I see him, it reminds me of how old I am, because I remember when, and I always bring this up when we talk about him, but it's crazy because I remember when Solange was pregnant with him in the Soldier video for Destiny's Child. Y'all feel old yet? He is 20 years old. That's crazy. So huge congratulations to him. I think this is his first major solo spread, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, he was in the pages of Vogue for the Met Gala Black Dandyism issue, but that was with a host of other people. This is all about Jules, honey. And of course, he's following behind his aunt's aesthetic with the cowboy, Carter theme going on there with the grills. He's very handsome. But his father, he looks like it. He looks like Solange, but he really looks like his father, whose name is Daniel. He's a junior. I used to have such a crush on his daddy. Anyway, let me move on. Listen, I haven't had any in a while, so I'm trying to abstain from sex, if you can believe it or not. Because it just doesn't seem like there's anything out here, honey. But yeah, so huge congratulations to Jules. What are we talking about next, bitch? So we need to step away from the glossies for a minute and get to the runway. But before we talk about Milan Men's Fashion Week, we have to talk about my favorite fashion show for the entire week, darling. And that has to go to the monumentous 20th anniversary Telfar show that was held on the streets in New York. A cast of over 200 models. Telfar Clemens shut it the fuck down. I love the maxi dresses. I love the smiley face prints, leisure wear, and he's also introducing new bags and also footwear. I'm really excited to get my hands on those maxi dresses though. You guys remember my sister bought me my first Telfar bag for my birthday. We got matching ones. So I said this time I'm going to get us the maxi dresses because I have got to have one of them. I mean, look at this. And then I love that Telfar really sent a message with this show to me, with everything that's going on in the world. This was nothing but pure tea, community, and unity. I mean, people of all walks of life, gay, straight, fat, skinny, trans, non-binary, Asian, Hispanic, Latino. He even had families walking down the runway. I just thought this was so beautiful. He looked so proud. You did it. 20 years he's been doing this. I'm sorry, I'm excited. I'm getting a little emotional, and I'm not even Mr. Clements, But, he's been doing this for 20 years, and he's very anti-fashion big machine. He's very, the accolades that he's gotten from the fashion community came completely unwarranted. Like, he's just like, I'm going to just keep on doing my thing. And the way he goes about his work is really inspiring for people that feel like they're not being seen or heard. All you need is to just keep on marching to the beat of your own drum, honey. They'll find you. they will find you, because they definitely found Telfar Clemens. So huge congratulations to him. Okay, now let's get into my favorite and not so favorite shows. Yes, 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 yes. Of Milan Menswear Week. Okay, so first I want to talk about pronouns. Let me pull my notes, because I took notes, guys. You know, at first I would like to talk about Setchu. Setchu, I've never really, I've heard of them, but I'm not really familiar. They definitely caught my eye, shedding light on the unlimited possibilities of deconstruction. I mean, look at this. I absolutely love this. We also loved, not that one yet. Okay, pronouns. Pronouns I'm not really familiar with either, but they are a very young design team. They delivered a stunningly earthy collection inspired by the movement of kites, no less, and they really nailed it with this. This is a ladybug on my ring light. Come on, boo. I don't want to kill you. Thanks. But they really killed it with this. I enjoyed this collection a lot, and I would wear several of these pieces, even though it's menswear. Like, this is a menswear shirt, you know. A little Italian for you, darling. But, you know, I like wearing menswear. I used to be one. So, I do take inspiration from the menswear weeks. Of course, right now, we're currently in Paris. For Menswear Week. We just saw Beyonce and Jay-Z made a surprise appearance at the Louis Vuitton show, but we'll talk about that next episode when I get my bearings on what all going on in Paris. So huge congratulations to Pronouns. I also want to send, before I get to my favorite show of Milan, I also want to send a huge congratulations to the very young, gifted, and black Saul Nash, who Days Magazine caught up with for a quick interview after the show. Take a look at what he said about his latest collection.
Hi Days, Saul Nash here, and we're in Milan for my show. So I started with thinking about the idea of embrace and how that looks in movement, but then also thinking about the male body and sensuality and how that fits into tailoring and sportswear. It was really fun this season. My favourite piece in the collection is the bamboo jersey. I really love this idea of allowing men a space to express themselves, so you can really button it up if you want to, but you can open it up.
Yeah, so let's take a look at the collection. He described it for us already. And you know, listen, I can give my opinion on it. I loved it. I love the bamboo crew tops that he had with the side buttons. And I love what he said. You know, he wants to give men a safe space to express themselves, to embrace each other and embrace their true style, no matter what it is. And, you know, June, not only is June Pride Month, but it's also Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So I thought that really went together, and I thought the collection was really easy breezy and chic. So huge congratulations to Saul Nash. You know, I'm going to salute anybody black. You know, we're doing everything black around here now, darling. But my favorite collection of them all for Milan's Menswear Week. Let me light my cigarette before we get into it. Hold on. Has to go to Emporio Armani. Honey, Armani blew me away. So let me read you guys my notes. Emporio Armani debuted a brilliant Spring-Summer 2026 menswear collection. A strong, soothing color palette, lazy, chic, masculine silhouettes with a melting pot of cultural influences, all constructed with the most beautiful, soft, effortless fabric exhaling down the runway. I thought this was absolutely gorgeous. Honey, look at this. I'm trying to pull it up on here. Honey, And yeah, there were some, classic Armani menswear suits for the summertime. Of course, that's Armani's signature. That's what, for the menswear, that's what he's known for. But honey, it's leisurely, it's cultural, it's easy, it can fit any body type. I just thought it was so beautiful. So beautiful. Huge, huge shout out to Armani for this. This was everything. Listen, I'm inspired to make a couple pieces inspired by this collection myself, honey. Hello. So, okay, what else are we talking about? This is a short show today. I'm glad I have my cigarette already lit. Okay. All right. So let's get a little messy for a second. We've come to the end of the show. Let's get a little messy. B. Simone. So, B. Simone has a new podcast called Being Friends with a Celebrity. Which I know I just mocked it, but I sometimes I do wonder how, like the twins, those black twins that are all up Khloe Kardashian's ass all the time. Maybe that wasn't really nice. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel. Jordan Woods. Like, how do these people feel being friends with somebody, who is in the public eye? You know what I mean? It is something that should be discussed, but I don't think it should be discussed in this way. Take a
being
look at
a best friend with a celebrity, everybody thinks that, because you're connected to this person, then your life is just as grand as theirs, or you got
it, or they helping you.
Baby, didn't have a job, living with my parents, a single mom. All this happened to me this past year.
Jesus.
And then it's like, to not have resentment in my heart towards you because I saw you do this for other people. I saw you give a check to somebody to help them through whatever they went through. And it's like, God, like, nobody didn't give me a handout, but guess what? That wasn't your responsibility. God had to take me through that for my own season, for my own thing. I had to get my car repossessed.
Jesus.
I had to go through the food stamps line. I had to be on Medicaid because I'm building my story too. But it's like, as a friend somebody who has it, it's hard to digest. They're probably shocked that I'm even saying this right now.
Me and my sister Shannon talked about this, and we both agreed that if either one of us, whichever one of us becomes famous first, don't have me on no podcast talking about how broke I am. Bitch, you better write me a fucking check. And vice versa. This is social media at its worst, literally. I just thought it was so distasteful, and I grew up, my parents had lots of friends that would come to the house, and they would fellowship, and they would cook, and I never heard them talk about money in the way that we talk about money amongst our friends now. And granted, B. Simone is not obligated to pay this girl's bills. Friends or not. No, you're not obligated. But if we're locked in and we're best friends like they say they are, if I have it to give you and you need it, it's yours. Because I love you, because we're friends. You know what I mean? Like, why does it even need to be it doesn't even need to be a conversation. Listen, if you're a good friend of mine, you will never, and I got it, you will never be in a position where you got to sit up on a podcast and say to myself, oh, it was so hard for me to watch you do it for somebody else. I mean, like, damn. And then B. Simone had to make it about her, and she said this.
It's just my finances. Like, the budgeting, you see how I am nitpicking every little thing. I've never been like that. We were in Bloomingdale's yesterday. I'm like, we have to go to H&M.
Yeah.
Like, I notice it in me now, just nitpicking. And it's not even, I just don't have it like to spend the liquid. Yeah. I'm used to having liquid. I'm used to seeing a certain amount in my account.
But you're
there are some people that can't even shop at H&M, B. Simone. And if memory serves me correctly, right? Are we on the air? Can we talk? Wasn't she the one that was sitting up on somebody else's podcast talking about something? She didn't want to date a man with a 9-to-5 job? I have seen her dog people for not having money. I have watched you dog people for not having it. I have watched a bunch of people on social media, influencers, Instagram hoes, models, comedians, sit up once they get that big check and they out and they balling. We're going to get to that in a minute too. That's something else I could touch on real quick. Oh, I can't hang out with no bitch unless her outfit is $1,500. Like, I ain't going to the club with no bitch that got a fake it. Oh, bitch, I eat oysters and float around on yachts, bitch. If you can't, you just gonna have to stay at home. And now all of them, because influencing is kind of on the decline, now all of them are crying broke. And you expect the public to feel sorry for you? Are you fucking kidding me? Bitch, please. Bitch, please. And I say that with love. I just think it's just like we shouldn't be talking about our finances on public forums. Like, I don't even tell y'all where I work at. Like, that's none of your business. I mean, it's not. I mean, I'll tell you where I work at, but I'm not going to tell you how much I make. That's what I meant to say. That's none of your business. People talk about how much money they have too freely. And it's like, who are you doing this for? All to end up on the internet a couple years later crying broke? Broke? Not you, girl. Not the girl that said she couldn't date a man with a 9-to-5. And for the friend, like, I'm not even mad at B. Simona for what the friend said, because, bitch, if you think I'm going to sit up on a podcast across from you and talk about my struggle, you got me fucked up. You shouldn't even want that for me. And I didn't even watch the whole thing. I didn't want to. Let's make a pact right now. Can we please stop using broke as in a country where fascism, oligarchy, and capitalism is taking center stage to the point where our grandmas and our mamas can't even get their medication without writing a $1,500 check every month. Can we stop using broke as a diss? Because a lot of y'all got a lot of money, but you ain't got no soul. You ain't got no heart. You don't have no moral compass. You got a lot of money, but you ain't got no moral compass. Society needs to stop worshiping money as if it's God. Period. I cannot stand a bitch that's just like, this glass, I need a wine glass. Like, I can't drink out of it. Like, girl, go on, sit your ass down somewhere 2 steps away from the motherfucking junkyard. And you done won the lottery for $50,000, and now you miss bourgeoisie. Only to blow it all on bullshit and come crying broke on the internet 2 years later. Money ain't everything. Going out ain't everything. Being at the hottest spot ain't everything. I've done it. I've seen it. I've traveled. I've been to clubs. I've been to nice restaurants. But the best times I've had is sitting in my house with my girls or sitting at one of my homegirls' house, just yucking it up, having a good time, singing Toni Braxton, smoking reefer, frying fish, and making jerk chicken. Those are some of the best times I've had. And so those are some of the best times our parents used to have. Let's get back to that. And Jim Jones, I wasn't going to talk about this. Why am I holding this cup like this? I look like a real lush. Call me Mrs. Hegseth. with his drunk puss ass. Secretary of Defense, my ass. Jim Jones, it's time to wrap this rap shit up. Because I have never seen something so delusional in my life. You, a better rapper than Nas? Honey, the internet was eating Jim Jones up, honey. And listen, and Chrissy, you need to run away as far away. This man, you've been with this man for 20-something, 30-something years, and he ain't married you yet. Girl, and he's making a fool out of himself and you on top of it. Go find you a young buck like Cardi B and all them other girls finding new love in new places. Girl, because Jim Jones is tired. He looks dirty. He can't rap. He got one song. You are a overgrown hype man. Okay? Anyway, y'all, that was today's show. I will be back hopefully in a few days. Don't hold me to that. I'm trying to be more consistent, y'all. I really am. And I do have to say, I appreciate all the new subscribers. And I appreciate all the love that y'all been giving me, whether it be on YouTube or in my DMs. Keep encouraging me, y'all. I need it. I need your encouragement. I need your prayers to keep me going. It really helps. Because I really love doing this. But having a 9-to-5... and doing this, and doing my fashion stuff, and having clients and doing makeup, it is getting to be a lot. Not to mention, I'm remodeling my house. I'm not complaining. I'm blessed, booked, and busy. But the encouragement does help. It does make me feel good. So I thank you all for that. And I will see you guys next time. Ciao, Bella.